Doge has had his biggest pump in ages. We tell you why and ask, will it go to $1? Welcome to Around the Blockchain. Thank you for joining. Make sure you hit that like button. We have a star-studded lineup. We're going to get right into it. On the top left, he's shaking his head, but maybe he'll shake his way to victory. It is Ben Armstrong. Ben, how goes it?
Good.
How did you just get done shooting a podcast?
I did. Yeah, we shot the first 2 episodes.
Okay, can you give us any hints?
It's me and my closest frenemy.
Okay, all right. Looking forward to that one. Also on today's episode, we have Elena. Am I saying that correctly? Is it Alana?
Alana.
Okay, I've asked you 3 times this time. I swear I will. Remember, Alana, thank you for coming back. Always a great time. Also on today's episode, we have Forrest. You also catch him at 0x Stacker on Twitter. He has that big old D-Gods, that rare one of one. Forrest, how goes it today?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
All right. And then we have special guests in the studio. It is Crypto WendyO. And can you give us any insight? I heard you also shot a podcast.
Yeah, I'm sitting at your desk right now currently. So.
All right. Well, let's get right into it. First, we've seen some huge movement with the market lately. You know, we have Bitcoin. It's down slightly, about 2.5%. If you look here on the 7-day chart, it's had a little bit of a little cup and handle there. But Cardano at 1.15% on the week is pared down a little bit. But nothing is taking the cake quite like Doge. I think we might just have to jump right into it. I know everyone wants to hear about it. Look at that pump right there. If you go to the 7-day, it looks kind of even more dramatic. Huge, huge pump. And you might be asking, why did this happen? It's going to be hard to tell. But there on the top left, you might see what used to be a little blue bird is now a Shiba Inu dog, or also known as the Doge. Ben Armstrong, we had actually predicted on this show, Sin City Crypto 6 months ago said, you know what? I have an idea. I bet Elon might switch the logo to a Doge. Do you think this is a short-term switch, long-term switch? And what were your thoughts when you saw that today? Can we expect this to be up there for much longer?
Well, I tell you what, I'm thinking about this because as soon as I pulled up Twitter just now, I'm on Twitter right now, I'm looking at it. I finally got
screen.
It. Yeah, mine finally has the Doge up there. And I'm just sitting here thinking to myself about the genesis of Twitter and about where Twitter has come from and about where Twitter is going now and in the future is different than where it's been. And you know, I think it might make sense to change the logo to a Doge. Like, I really do. I think that if they're trying to change, like, Matt, is it Taibbi? Taibbi. He was the guy who exposed like a lot of stuff, from, I'm sure Elon gave him or the team gave him about stuff they were doing internally with the government and censorship and all this stuff. Words that were shadowed. Like if you said vaccine or you said World Economic Forum, you were shadow banned. Your posts were not shown. Like that's scary stuff. And you look at what Twitter is getting ready to do as more and more of this stuff comes out, they may need a rebrand, and why not the Dogecoin logo? But just because the Dogecoin logo is the logo of Twitter, that does not mean that, it's going to have some kind of gigantic price rally. I mean, obviously it's going to get eyeballs on it, but how many people don't know about Dogecoin at this point? They're on Twitter. So.
All right. Well, let's talk about the price rally there. Wendy, you are set up at my desk right now. You're in the studio. I guess I had a microphone. So we're like, all right, it's not 10 cans and string. Let's use that office. What is going on with the price? I don't know if I kind of want to trade it. I'm seeing such volatile movement. I don't know if it's going up. I don't know if it's going down. It's Doge. It's anyone's guess. But we've had quite the pump there. What's the price charts looking like for you?
So I was initially going to chart it for you guys and give you like a potential price prediction. However, I didn't know about the news that the Twitter logo was changed to the Dogecoin logo. And because of that, I will not fade Dogecoin any way, shape, or form. The reason why is I tried to do that in the past. I tried to warn people and it kind of backfired on me. Yes, Dogecoin did not hit $1 and I said it wasn't going to hit $1. However, if Twitter does successfully rebrand to the little Dogecoin logo, that could really, really help with the price a lot. So I'm not going to give a TA prediction. I'm just going to simply watch this, sit on the sidelines and vibe. And I do agree with a lot with what Ben said about rebranding with all the terrible things that went down on Twitter. And I think that the perfect rebrand would be Dogecoin, even though it is a meme coin. We have to kind of take a step back and remember why these things were created. They were created for liberty, for freedom, to be able to kind of interact and operate how we want to in this decentralized economy. So I think it is the perfect way to troll everybody in the world, and I'm here for it.
All right, well, Stacker, Forrest, you do a little bit of trading yourself, and I piggyback on Wendy's rules there. Meme coins kind of have, I would even say, special rules, or maybe no rules at all. Is there any different strategy that you use when it comes to trading meme coins? Do you take profit earlier? Do you take it later? Do you watch it, a little more closely? What's Forrest rules for meme coins?
I personally only ever short meme coins on their pumps. I mean, if you look at the charts, look, I mean, it's yes, over a long period of time, if you bought Dogecoin early and you held it and you timed the pumps well, then yes, you were able to be profitable with it. Otherwise, it's a short-term pump and dump coin. It pops up and then it dumps. So you just look at the chart, it pops up and then it dumps. It pops up. And the reason that it dumps is because it's all about attention, right? If there's not attention on Dogecoin, it just slowly bleeds off. It's got kind of a higher inflation rate. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't have like the worst inflation rate. It's lower inflation than the United States, to be honest, or the U.S. dollar. But you're playing the attention economy, which is being led predominantly for Dogecoin by Elon Musk. So it's like if you're buying Dogecoin, you're really betting on Elon Musk pumping it through integrating it into Twitter in some way or another. And as a longer term investment thesis, if you want exposure to Elon Musk and crypto, and you want to kind of sit at the crossroads of that, I would say just buy some ETH or Bitcoin as well as some Tesla stock, and you're going to get your Elon Musk exposure through your Tesla stock, and you're going to get your crypto exposure through something more solid like Bitcoin and ETH. And then just look for to trade the short term pumps and dumps for Dogecoin. That's the way I look at it.
All right, great advice there. And Forrest, shout out to Caleb Franzen. He just tweeted about Tesla stock and might be at the top of a channel for some of our short-term traders there. Well, Alana, he threw out an idea. Maybe there's some possible integration going to be coming into fruition with Twitter and Dogecoin. I saw a game last night. I went to a Hawks game. Big shout out to Ben, TJ, and Hit Network Squad. They were playing the Dallas Mavericks last night. Well, the Dallas Mavericks actually have institutional use case for Doge as one of the few coins that they accept where you can purchase NBA tickets with Dogecoin. If Twitter starts enacting more enhancements here, I think you can also get AMC movie tickets with it. Now you got Twitter jerseys, maybe in the Dallas Mavericks store, who knows? Given a little bit of institutional, I don't want to say demand here, but now that it's getting integrated on an industrial level, on a business development level, will VCs start looking at Dogecoin and maybe try to get a little allotment? Can you see A16Z picking up some Doge?
So I wouldn't say necessarily they're going to go spend some time getting the liquid token Doge, but I do think as a normal investor, it's going to be interesting to see the use cases of Doge. I think a lot of people were thinking, okay, maybe now they're going to transact P2P. But I also see an example where if you think about Robux, for example, you could go into the game, you could use it to buy things, you could use it to buy wearables and avatars and transact with it. Well, I see the case where potentially Twitter is going to integrate this. So like right now, Twitter Blue, for example, you pay money to actually have this. And it's like, okay, well, now you could use Doge to transact with it. Or maybe people bookmark your tweets and now you're going to be able to see who actually bookmarked your tweets. Or you could go ahead and be a super fan of somebody. And so you could actually, once again, transact with Doge and maybe send money in social payments through Twitter. So I think it's exciting. I think this is in the future. For now, I really do think it was a spur of the moment event, especially because if you look on mobile, they didn't actually switch the logo yet. It's still the Twitter icon, but on web, they actually switched it to the Doge. So I think this was kind of Elon just being like, hey, switch it. But I don't really think they have anything right now in the pipeline, but I could see that happening in the future.
Maybe it's those 75% engineers he fired. They're the ones who's going to get it all rolled out simultaneously. Well, I want to stay on this just a little bit longer. Now, Ben, Elon Musk and the SEC, they are no friends. I wouldn't even call them frenemies. They came after Elon after he tweeted. I think it was a Saudi sovereign fund might take Tesla private. I think it was $420.69, I believe, actually, not kidding there. Do you think that the SEC is going to come after Elon Musk, given his recent tweet and support of Doge? They've already talked to him about Doge in the past. You're muted.
First and foremost, we're going to have to get a new number. 420.69 is no good anymore because of inflation. 69 is now 96, they say. Now, in terms of Elon Musk getting in trouble, guys, I just feel like billionaires don't really get in trouble. Am I right? Outside of Bill Gates and the antitrust lawsuit back in, I guess that was the early 2000s, I think. Outside of that, like, when do billionaires really get in trouble? And that's also kind of my issue with all these people going after CZ right now. Like, the guy's got billions of dollars, billions. Personally, and as well as through crypto and his value of Binance. But the fact is, you can piss somebody off, and I know that because I piss people off. And when you piss somebody off, really, really, really bad, and they're powerful enough, then they will throw everything that they have at you. Of course, Elon Musk has made fun of the SEC. He's made fun of the rules. He said he didn't like them. I think a lot of times when he does stuff like that, what you referenced there, like he was literally doing it to draw the ire of the SEC. And there's a part of me that really, really likes that, really respects that for sure. But then there's another part of it that is, where he's asking for trouble. But I don't think that Elon Musk is ever probably going to get in trouble. Look, Dogecoin is not a security, period. Like, Dogecoin is not a security. If you look at all the coins that you could possibly make an argument for being a security, Dogecoin and Litecoin are probably the last two, So in my opinion, there's no way he can get in trouble for this. Gary Gensler can't just create rules out of nothing that don't make sense. And that's why he gets shut down in court, all the time. And pretty soon we're going to be getting ready to do a video where we're going to show you how many times he's failed and been shut down along with his predecessor, Jake Layton.
Yeah, I heard he can't even cut a steak there. All right, well, Alana, short of the billionaires, I kind of agree with Ben. There are different rules for billionaires. I mean, short of Bernie Madoff and Mini Madoff, of course, SBF, does Elon need to worry about the law in any kind of real sense? Is there, any kind of chance that we're going to see Elon Musk behind bars given any reason?
I mean, right now, obviously, like, Dogecoin is not a security. And I was reading about like what the lawyers were actually saying, and they showed that Musk did not defraud anybody or he didn't hide anything from investors. So I think right now for this specifically, he's not. But I think that goes into the bigger problem where still crypto coins are not considered a security. So I think that's going to have to be decided first, and regulations are going to have to be put in place before Elon is going to end up behind bars. And personally, I don't think he's going to go ahead and end up behind bars for this.
All right, I'm already shaking my head at the Gary Gensler Twitter video on Doge. One can only imagine there. All right, Forrest, let's assume it's going to be some sort of social payment, some peer-to-peer payment system. He does say he wants to make a super app similar, I believe, WeChat in Asia. What is the next coin where you be able to send payments on Twitter?
Ooh, that's a tough one, probably. And I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the Bitcoin Lightning Network as it currently stands, just because it kind of defeats the purpose. You use Strike, and then they keep your money at a bank, or they hold your Bitcoin at a bank called Prime Trust. It just defeats the whole decentralized purpose of it. However, it does work to some degree. So maybe some type of Strike integration, some type of tipping system. I think personally, if we get to that level, we'd probably see predominantly just Dogecoin. I think that's what Elon Musk likes, and that's what he wants to brand around. The question is, like, legality wise, do you have to KYC every one of Twitter's users to start to integrate a Dogecoin tipping system or some type of Doge reward system. I think that's the bigger question there, and it's an entirely different legal process, and that's a very murky gray area right now. So honestly, with everything going on, as rough a shape as Twitter and Elon Musk is in right now financially, I don't necessarily think that his priorities lie with crypto and Dogecoin. I think this is a publicity stunt more than likely, just to keep the attention on Twitter and keep people talking.
All right. Well, Wendy, last question on Doge. Forrest said rough shape financially. I thought he meant the Doge price chart at first. I don't want to say, if or when, but what are the likelihood, or how difficult would it be for Doge to get to an all-time high? Would we need 80K Bitcoin? Is it something that could never happen? Does it seem like a certainty in the next bull run? What are your thoughts on cracking 70 cents again?
Before I talk about that, I think it's absolutely funny that Elon Musk is kind of trolling the Bitcoin maximalists and Jack, because Jack had talked about integrating Bitcoin payments on Twitter in the past. So I think that that's funny. I'm here for it. But as far as Dogecoin hitting an all-time high, we should kind of pay attention to the market cap. Kind of piggybacking what Forrest said, Dogecoin is very cyclical. It's got its ups and it's got its downs. It's got its crab, and it continues to repeat this pattern. Like, you could go back in history and look at it a lot of times. As far as Dogecoin hitting $1, what would need to happen? We probably would need some type of bull run to happen. We would need a lot more liquidity injected to the crypto markets. I think it could happen, but it would need to be underneath the right circumstances. And I just hope everybody understands the risks. Like, even though Dogecoin is a meme coin, it's fun. Elon Musk talks about it a lot. It doesn't mean that it's the end all be all. And it doesn't mean that it will hold any significant type of value. However, I am a holder. I have a moon bag, and I'm just here for it right now.
All right, I have a little bag too. It's on Robinhood, if that tells you how much I care about it there. All right, well, let's get into the drama, not DJ drama. We're talking about the Arbitrum drama, and their first proposal did not come out of the gate swinging there. This is coming from a lot of information is still being digested at the moment here, but they had an R proposal, and with their DAO, they were going to say, hey, you get to tell us what to do with the funds, and they submitted a proposal. Well, the community rejected the proposal. They wanted to spend $1 billion, or it was $1 billion at the start of it. I think it's down to maybe 800 something million at the moment. But the community said, no, you cannot spend those funds. And then Arbitrum Foundation said, oh, no. That wasn't a vote to whether or not we would use the funds. That was just you guys ratifying whether we're going to use funds after people, the on-chain sleuths, had found out that no, they were already moving hundreds of millions of dollars, nearly 750 million Arbitrum at the time, $885 million already moved to a separate treasury without token holders approving. It was AIP number 1 is the very first one there. Now, Alana, just from an outsider's perspective, a VC perspective, I mean, I know VCs are going to want to get their money back, but they kind of communicated no one is getting funds for 12 months. But then they said, no, we need this for administrative costs. I don't know if that means the janitor or, maybe someone up front, or maybe someone's answering the phone. Maybe it's just for rent for a building. Maybe it's the landscaping crew. Who knows? In your mind, what are the percentage that some of those funds that were for administrative were going to find their way back into VC hands?
Yeah, I think right now it probably won't. I don't think that was the main cause of this proposal. I think this goes to a bigger problem, though, where these are going, okay, hey, you own the token, you have a say. They do the proposal, it's decentralized, nobody can do anything until it's voted on. And then it goes back to, okay, now obviously a smaller percentage than what was necessary to actually go ahead and make this proposal official and act on it didn't happen, and they still went and acted on it. So this is a bigger problem, I feel like, in crypto, where you have these DAOs and you have these decentralized organizations, and then they're going ahead and acting regardless. And there is a centralized governance that's actually making the end all be all decisions. But in terms of the VCs and the money involved for investors, I think they would have said, if this is going back to the holders, I personally at least hope for everybody's sake who's holding the ARB token that it's not just going ahead and getting sent back without the approval of everybody involved.
Does the VC community still like it?
I'm personally not involved in Arbitrum. I'm involved in other layer 2s, but not this one specifically.
Do you like optimism? I'm full disclosure. I want to get a little bag of optimism. I got a little bit. I want to get in more. I think it only has a $700 million market cap compared to some of these other new L2s. It's much higher. It's actually coming in lower. What are your thoughts on optimism?
Yeah, I like it. I think we're looking at a lot of things being built on top of the layer twos and specifically different applications for it. I'm personally look at a lot of rewarding programs, especially you're seeing Polygon right now utilizing, they're working with a lot of Fortune 500 companies. So actually being able to help onboard different companies to be able to utilize the blockchain to create loyalty for their consumers.
Yeah, and they have the highest market cap of L2s, and in my opinion, it's definitely for a reason, and their biz dev team is unparalleled in the space. Now, Ben, I was looking at the breakdown, $750 million for the treasury. They also sent $40 million to a sophisticated actor in the financial markets place, and then $10 million ARB was for operational costs. Now, a lot of FUD is coming from this, seems to be a FUD storm, a little bit of a FUD storm for the airdrop. Oh, I thought I did enough things. I didn't get enough of an airdrop. Oh, I did all the things and I didn't get enough that much money. I was expecting more. It all went to the whales, they say. What are your thoughts on ARB's launch? Can they recover? Can they be an L2 narrative, next bull run? Are we going to just be laughing at all these concerns 2 years from now? Again.
He's whispering. I think so, DC. I think so.
All right.
Yeah,
coming back.
I do think so. That was the answer. Look, here's the thing. Arbitrum has a ton of TVL on it, more than optimism. Is it going to stay that way? Were people just using the crap out of their network to try to get their airdrop, and now the airdrop is gone? Will that TVL go down? Well, the TVL could go down. I think this is right. I think it could go down 70% and still be ahead of optimism. It's
yes,
pretty.
That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, Arbitrum's around. Now we're going to be doing a video on this later tonight where we're going to go over in depth, in detail, exactly what happened with this, why people are mad, why they moved the tokens. They just assumed it was going to win. AIP won is what it is, I think. The Arbitrum improvement proposal won, and everybody just assumed that it was going to get voted in, and they started moving money, and then there were a lot of moving parts to it, and then they were like, oh crap, we don't know for sure we're going to win this. So that's basically what happened. I don't think they were, I think they were just overconfident. I think they were confident it was going to pass. I don't think they thought in a million years that it wasn't going to. And then all of a sudden they botch the airdrop up. And now people are kind of upset about it because they didn't get as much they thought they were going to get. Or in some cases, we have people that use it. Did Taco ever get his?
Taco never got one. Johnny was the only person in the office, and he was like eating, sleeping, breathing it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we have people that use it and didn't get it. So I understand the outrage. I understand why people are upset about it, because you didn't get your airdrop and they just gave away millions of it. Like that, I think it was 50 million total, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, 50 million total. And 10 million got cashed out, and the other 40 obviously went to a very sophisticated market maker like that guy. So the point is this. Look, in my opinion, Arbitrum is here to stay. It could get a little bit further of a dip from all the people being upset. However, I think it's going to bounce back pretty good. I don't think the Arbitrum team is scammy. I think they just did something. I don't think they anticipated losing. And I think they just went ahead and did it because they thought it was going to pass. And now they're having to go back and backpedal. And I think at the end of the day, people will forgive them for this, because in 2 years from now, when Arbitrum is peaking out like in the top 10 of all of crypto and it's running and people are making tons of money on it, nobody is going to care about the launch.
Yeah, we've talked about this. Crypto has a short memory. I mean, you see it with, you just see it in all sectors of the space there. Yeah, on the TVL, Arbitrum, 3.06 billion total value locked. Polygon, only 1.2, and then Optimism, 940 million. So yeah, we see a 70% drawdown, and it's still just going to be then equal with Optimism. We have a breakdown.
Pretty good. I call that number by memory.
Yeah, that was good. Good stuff. Good stuff. We actually have a breakdown of the vote. 70% were against the proposal, 29 were for it, and then there's some people actually log on and abstain. I don't know what they were thinking there, but a few takeaways. It was a ratification of something already decided, not a proposal. And other chains have foundations. They control a similar amount as the 1 billion they requested, and they have now acknowledged miscommunication here. Well, Forrest, given those stats, we have Polygon coming in, #1 market cap, even though it's not #1 total value lock. Then we have Arbitrum. Then we have Optimism. Optimism, I don't want to say significantly lower, but a good percentage lower as far as market cap, but not that much total value lock. What L2s are you considering, or are you just playing the L1 game? And maybe, what's more important to you, and what's the better narrative in the next couple of years?
Yeah, so for long-term potential, I just like L1 Ethereum. I think it's going to perform the best as far from a long period of time, just based off of its tokenomics and its supply side tokenomics. Like it's deflationary. Look at something like Optimism or Arbitrum. There's relatively low circulating supply, and there's a ton of token inflation coming in. You look at the value accrual and like the actual utility. It's like Arbitrum's kind of funny because while it's phenomenal technology, I use the chain, very pleasant experience, very quick. I have no complaints about Arbitrum, the actual tech side of it, but the token side of it is another story. I'm not a big fan. One is because it's not used as gas, right? So you don't have to actually own Arbitrum to operate on the Arbitrum blockchain, like the L2. You can just pay your gas fees in Ethereum, which is not true of Optimism. I believe Optimism you can use as gas. But the main token utility behind Arbitrum is governance. So if you own Arbitrum, you're supposed to have a say in how the Arbitrum token is spent and used in the future of the protocol. And it's supposed to be a decentralized protocol. And I get that decentralization is hard. But if your only utility for a token is governance, and then you're just overriding these governance decisions and saying, oh, this wasn't actually a real thing. This was a ratification, not a proposal. This was already decided. Oh, psych, we already spent 50 million Arbitrum tokens out of this, $1 billion that we planned on spending. What is the point in owning Arbitrum if you don't get to have a say in the governance and they just get to come in and change the rules on you? So for me, it's, I'm very bullish on Ethereum and Ethereum layer 2. So I do think that these tokens like Optimism and Arbitrum and other L2s coming out, maybe like some of these ZK plays and, Polygon, I think they'll all probably pump and see great returns in a nice, narrative altcoin demand driven season. But for a long term hold, I just think most people are going to be better off sitting in something like Ethereum rather than trying to pick a singular racehorse to bet on.
Now, what are your thoughts on it? Was not ratification. It was just ratification, not a proposal. What are your thoughts on that language?
I think they kind of got caught out. They thought it was gonna get approved with 100% certainty, and then when it didn't, they kind of got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and they came out and they said, "Oh, psych, we thought it, this has already been decided. This was ratification, not a proposal." I think they're just backtracking.
All right,
they made a mistake.
Little bit of a backpedal. I kind of agree there. All right, Wendy. Let's talk about Arbitrum as a price perspective, though. I look at the 1-day chart. It looks like a tradable crypto here. Okay. I look at the 7-day chart. I'm getting the same vibes. But then when I click 1 month, what the heck am I supposed to do with this chart, Wendy? Should I disregard this first candle at all? Should I give it some weight? Might it be resistance?
Those candles that you see initially, that's like when it hits an exchange. So you'll always see those big drops. You always will. So as far as price goes, I don't know what's going to happen with price. It's really going to kind of depend what happens with the ecosystem. I don't know a whole lot about the tokenomics and whatnot, and that is definitely going to play into what's happening. I will say the fact that they did do an airdrop, that's fantastic. That's great. But generally, when people get airdrop tokens, a lot of people sell the tokens. So I will probably expect price to continue to go down, especially with this negative outcome with the DAO with the governance that they had. I still think that there's so much flaws in governance and DAOs when it comes to crypto. We're just not there yet. We're not ready to use these systems. And as you can see with the Arbitrum, with the airdrop, there was a lot of problems. A lot of people are upset. A lot of people are angry. And I don't blame them. I would be upset too. So hopefully the project does do super well for people that did actually invest their own money. But at the same time, I generally do not buy airdrops. I won't do it. The reason why is people end up selling, and I don't want to get caught holding the bag. I'll try to buy after the project is going sideways for a bit. And if it has good fundamentals, then that's when I would consider entering or simply short.
Is there any heuristic or kind of just template we can use? So are you waiting 3 months? Are you waiting 3 days? Are you waiting
There's no
months later in
template.
Bitcoin dips?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no real template for it. Like, if it's a project that you like, you're going to have to look at the roadmap. You're going to have to look at the tokenomics. You're going to have to pay attention to what the outcome is of this little bit of a drama. But generally, what happens anytime you get airdrops, number could go up because people buy because they're anticipating, and then it generally drops down. So I would wait till you feel comfortable. And also, too, like, when are we going to get the next bull run? You're going to also have to kind of anticipate what's going to happen with that, and then determine if it's a good time to get in, how long you want to hold, how much you want to invest, and what the R&R is. So it really kind of depends on the individual person. I will say that I have bought an airdrop once because I didn't get it and I wanted to ride that hype, and I ended up getting absolutely wrecked. And this was even a couple months down the line. So just be careful, be cautious here. And there's always going to be another bust in this industry, always, especially with all of the different solutions that are coming out, in my opinion.
All right, so it depends on your risk profile when you might want to sell. I actually have a copy of my trading strategy here, and it says hodl till Lambos. It should pay out eventually, right? I'm sure it will work one day, but I think that's all we have time for today. It was a close one, but Ben Armstrong, I don't know if it was the power of the podcast brought him in. He was fully energized, full of electrons. So Ben Armstrong, feel free, take it away.
Okay. Just kidding. Yeah, guys. First of all, thank you everybody for being on the show. You guys make sure to go follow everybody who's on the show and literally do it. Stop what you're doing and go subscribe to all the people on the show. Guys, CZ, the rumor is that he is getting a red notice from Interpol, which means everyone in every jurisdiction that uses Interpol will be looking for him, possibly to arrest him. This could be absolutely insane news. That's why Binance Coin and Bitcoin have been dropping here recently. Something to pay attention to. Someone pointed out on Twitter that they have to make an Interpol red notice public, and it's not. But this is the exact rumor that I heard last night. And we talked about on the show this morning, and now CoinDesk is reporting the rumor as well. So just be careful out there. We could have some volatile movement. And keep in mind that, look, this could turn out to be false and price of Bitcoin goes up. So we'll see what happens.
All right. That's all we got. Yeah.
Happening. Yeah.
Go to the description. Make sure you check out the channel. Make sure you sub. Make sure you sub to this channel and go ahead and hit the like button. Doesn't cost you anything. Does great improvement for our views. So that's all we got. Until next time, DZ out. Go get Doge.